Oh, 1 pound. 1 pound. 1 freaking pound. What's up, everybody? Jerry here with another episode of 5-Minute Fitness Friday. Today, we're going to answer the question of why your scale is not what you should be using to measure your progress. Now, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes and I'm going to start my timer. If I happen to not make it in 5 minutes, which I feel like I'm probably not going to, so I'm prepared for this one today. But if I don't make it in 5 minutes, I get to do 10 pull-ups, which I'm pretty good at, so I'm not too concerned. At any rate, hopefully we get to do some pull-ups today. We're gonna start the timer right about now. So to get started, we're gonna talk about a couple of ways that you measure your body structure, if you will. A couple of ways that you measure your progress in your health and in your body. So the number one way that most people measure their health or their progress in their health is through the scale. So you get on the scale and you see one number, and most people base their progress on that one number, which can be absolutely maddening because sometimes you don't see any progress, sometimes you see a lot of progress, and you don't really know why things aren't moving faster than the way that you think that they should. But you might be making more progress than what you actually are, which we'll get to in a second. But the scale is just not a super effective way to measure your progress if you're working out and if you're eating correctly. So the second way then is through BMI, body mass index. And everyone knows what BMI is at this point. If you're not sure about what BMI actually is and how it's calculated by taking your weight in kilograms and dividing it by your height in meters squared. I know it sounds a little intricate, but that's how it's calculated. And then you get a number, 25, 20, 18, whatever it is. And then you're placed in some sort of category. And then you're told as to whether or not you're in a healthy BMI or not healthy BMI, so on and so forth. Again, it's not super precise. It's not exactly the best way to be measuring whether or not you are making progress or whether or not you're actually in a healthy category for your body. But the third way is a great way to measure your progress and to measure how your body structure is changing so that you know if you're making significant progress in your workouts, in your body structure, and so on. And that is what is called body composition. Body composition. So body composition is simply the measurement of the amount of fat that you have on your body versus the amount of lean mass that you have on your body or the amount of muscle that you have on your body. Okay, so we all understand, and I'm sure maybe you've seen pictures of a pound of fat versus a pound of muscle and how a pound of muscle is much smaller than that pound of fat is in volume. And that's because, very simply, fat takes up more space than muscle does. So if you're exercising, especially if you're doing resistance training, and your weight is staying the same, but your clothes are changing and what you see in the mirror is changing and your body looks like it's shrinking, that's because you're putting on muscle and taking off fat, even if the scale is not moving all that much, okay? And this is the most effective way to track your progress if you're resistance training and if you're eating correctly. Now, if you're not resistance training and you're only changing your nutrition, it's not gonna be the most effective way because at that point, all you're doing is losing weight. But if you're resistance training, if you're doing workouts and you're eating correctly, body composition is the thing that you want to track, okay? Because that way you know if you're putting on muscle and if you're taking off fat. That's the important part, is fat loss, not weight loss. Fat loss, not weight loss. So how do you know, or what are the best ways to track your body composition? The best ways. There are a bunch of ways. There are 5 or 6 effective ways, but we're going to talk about 3. I'll say the easiest ways for you to be able to track them. The first one is through your scale. A lot of people at home, you have a scale that's a a smart scale or whatever, and you can get on it, and sometimes those scales will track your body fat percentage. Now, most of those scales are typically way off by about 5%. So even if it says 20% body fat, it could be off by about 5%. The important thing whenever you're tracking your body fat percentage through your scale is to make sure that it's consistent. Now, even though it's not precise, if it's consistent, then that's important. So that means if you get on it on Monday and it shows 20%, and then you get on it on Tuesday and it shows still 20%, that means it's consistent. But if it shows 20% on Monday and say 23% on Tuesday, that means it's probably not consistent. So what you're looking for is consistency when you're using your scale to track your body fat percentage. And as long as those numbers are going down, then that means your body fat is coming down and your muscle, your lean mass is going up, which is a good thing. I'm already over 5 minutes, so it looks like I'm definitely doing those 10 chin-ups, but it's gonna be totally worth it because the rest of this is where the magic happens. So after that is DEXA Scan. We talked about the scale that you can use. I'm pointing down because I have a scale in front of me, sorry. So DEXA Scan is the second thing that you can use. Now, a DEXA Scan, you have to go typically to a sports complex or to a doctor's office or something like that to get a DEXA Scan. It's basically something that you sit in and it measures your body fat through like static electricity or something fancy along those lines. It's gonna be the most precise thing that you can really get is a DEXA Scan, but you have to pay for it. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I'm gonna guess it's maybe $100 or so. So if you're really interested in checking your body fat percentage, a DEXA Scan is definitely something that you could go check out and try. But the third thing is gonna be the most effective and most efficient as far as you being able to actually do it on your own if you choose to, or your personal trainer if you have one, or just a nutritionist or someone in your realm that you could go to. And that's just using body fat calipers to use. Body fat calipers are just these little calipers that you pinch skin folds on your body fat and you add the numbers up, and then you do a little calculation to show what your body fat percentage is. Now, we're gonna show you generally how to use one of those today if you wanna use one on your own. Coach Sharon is gonna come in. Coach Sharon, everybody. And I'm just gonna show you 3 sites that you can use to track your body fat percentage if you choose to, okay? So these are calipers. There's a bunch of different kinds. This isn't the only way that they might look, but it's nothing fancy. You could probably pick this up for maybe $5, $10, something like that. And all it is a little thing that pinches your skin, okay? So I'm gonna show you your tricep pinch, your belly button pinch, and your quad pinch, okay? So if you were pinching your tricep, all you would do is pinch as much that you can with your index finger and your thumb, pinch it together, and then you're gonna take this and you're gonna pinch like that with your calipers, and wherever that sits is the number that you wanna write down, okay? So I'm gonna write that number down, and then I'm gonna take her belly button pinch, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna pinch her belly button, and then I'm gonna take the calipers, I'm gonna grab that, and I'm gonna write that number down, and then I'm gonna head down to the quad, and I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna take the quad, and I'm gonna pinch. Now, Shaber doesn't have a lot of fat on her quad, so I'm gonna have trouble, but I'm gonna find something. Oh, there's a little something. And I'm gonna pinch, and then I'm gonna put that number down as well. And then, once I have those numbers, I'm gonna do my calculation, which we'll put in the description because off the top of my head, I apologize, I can't tell you exactly what it is, but super simple calculation. I'll put those numbers together, and then you'll get your body fat percentage. Now again, because it's only 3 sites, it's not gonna be the most accurate, but it's gonna be much, much, much more accurate than the scale. And also a lot more cost effective than going and get a DEXA scan every month. So those are the 3 ways that you can track your body fat percentage. And I'm gonna encourage you, if you are resistance training and if you are trying to make progress in your health, do not allow the scale to control your mind. Do not allow the scale to control your life, because a lot of people jump on that bad boy every morning and go nutso, 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 and it's just not worth it, okay? Pay attention to the picture that you see. Pay attention to the mirror, pay attention to how your clothes fit, and that is going to be the most effective way to track your progress. Check out more of our health and fitness videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Be sure to like, follow, or subscribe so you never miss out on our new content posted daily that contains life-changing strategies.